Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another live stream. Today we are grinding for the CS-63. We're starting stock at the beginning of the branch at tier 5, because that's where it begins. Branching off from the 14 TP. Wowza. Yeah. We're going to be making our way up. This one I'm excited about. I'm also really excited about the Boogie. 300 alpha damage on this tank. But we're stock, so we'll see how it all goes. 2,000 health on the CS. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Okay, well. Yeah. Stock, I do have gun rammer and optics on. I want to give myself some kind of help, especially when we're in tier 7 matches. This can be quite difficult when you're bottom tier and you're stock, so I want to make sure I've got my view range up a little bit, and at least some semblance of DPM. We're talking 1500, which is quite low, especially for fighting tier 7s, but we'll see what we can do. This thing goes 56. I've not played these before. I had no idea that this tank was so fast. It's a medium tank at tier 5, and now I'm thinking to myself, is this secretly an incredible tank, especially when you fully upgrade it? I don't know. Hey, Robert and Provokes, welcome. Polish tanks, we're gonna give him a go. Well, we've got to, right? So what's going on is I've been playing competitive again, and I'm almost always called in the CS-63. Like every game, without fail, or every match without fail. There's at least one game within the series where I'm called in a CS-63, and every time it's like, I don't have one. I'm like, but I got my Leopard. And sometimes it's like, okay, that's fine, play the Leopard. But other times, like, no, we need you to be able to push someone if it comes down to it. And so it's, I'm finally doing it. Finally doing it. We're in a very bot-heavy lobby. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bots, 7 players per team this game. Very tier 5 match. I don't mind the bots so much at the lower tiers. They're fine. Because at the lower tiers, we used to have 7 versus 7s. When not enough players showed up. Okay, so even though this thing goes pretty quickly, it is struggling to get up to speed, despite having 18 horsepower per ton. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need the engine in the tracks if we're going to want to hit the top speed. Well, we're getting there now. Look at this aim time. Oh, we tracked him. That's pretty cool. DPM is abysmal. My penetration is abysmal too, but I'm pretty sure we can go through the German no problem. Look how slow these shells are too. Gotta really lead. Might get spotted by the Chaffee here, who's made it to the bush. Very well done. Gotta be careful here at tier 5. There are many things that can just one-shot you. Or really mess you up. Yeah, this is a slug without the crew. Backs up slowly. Owl Tanker's not a real player, right? That was gonna hurt. Oh, he's small though. That's insane. What is that? Churchill Oak. Yay! Not go through that turret. One more shot and we've done more damage than our health. Okay, well, unless of course he gets hit like that. What's the tank district? Light tank? It's Chaffee still. He's still alive. What do you know? Alright, I want one more, at least one more hit here. Does it have good DPM? Top of Bay, welcome. What makes the CS-63? People keep telling me I need to play it when I'm playing in the competitive leagues. And then I'm like, I don't have one. And then they're just like, oh. He probably thought I was a bot because of my name. Hence why he pushed me. There. Let's activate food, see if we can spot this SFL. Nuts. We got nailed by the SFL. He was still there. I thought for sure I'd be able to spot him, but I couldn't. And then we bounced the kill on the KV-1, and so we died. Oh well. We took a risk, and I thought the odds were in our favor, and they weren't. And unfortunately, we have a bot. And an SU-85. I don't think the SU-85 is gonna do much. And that does not look like the 85 mil. That looks like a 75 or 57. Does this thing get a 57? Did it. Maybe this is winnable. Will he notice the Wolverine? No, he's just gonna go die. Yeah. What the heck, man? Well done. Well done. I suppose I can't complain. It is tier 5 after all. Oh, that's true. We are on our daily double. Now it's moving. Why did this bot take so long to just start moving? It's supposed to drive toward where people were last spotted, isn't it? And everyone was spotted, and he was just sitting there. Wow. He still did better than the other guys on my team. Despite being a bot. Unfortunate. But it looks like we've unlocked the radio. Okay. And suspension. Nice. Next is the gun, then the turret. And the engine. Okay. But because we haven't gotten our ×2 yet, what I'm going to do is actually turn on a ×5 multiplier. There we go. Saw a YouTube video on the UDES 1516 210. Looks good, so I might get the willpower to grind it. It's good on PC. The issue with the Siege tanks here on console is that there's like a delay and they feel awkward. And so just keep that in mind. That's why they're not as popular here on console. And my webcam, it hasn't been working. I don't know what's going on. Probably won't use Siege Man. Alright. Okay, tier 7 match. We're gonna load our premium rounds, which barely have any penetration. They go up, I think it's like what, 105 standard pen or something like that, and it goes up to 125. It's really bad. Our standard rounds on my next gun have more pen than my premium rounds on this gun. Wow. All I have is my new suspension, and I actually can go my proper speed. I don't even have the engine. We're dead. We had nobody. Nobody went here. And all my tier 7s went the other way. We did it. A derp? Tiger. T-29. I don't want to get spotted. Get spotted though. I was hoping to escape by going around the rock this way. Oh, it's an E25. How fun. See, I don't want to get shot by this one. That's why I went this way. Instead I got shot by everyone else. Are these guys losing that? They actually are. I don't have gun elevation on this tank, apparently. over here. Come on. They lost this. They actually lost this flank. And we lost the other flank. How? How? We lost the middle? Well, you send all your top tier heavies one direction, you'd expect to win it. What'd they lose to? A Panther? How the heck do you lose to a Panther? They weren't even fighting the T-29. This is insane. And by the way, the Tiger has the derp gun. We lost to him too. If we run into that tier 6 heavy, we just kind of die. Absolution, we also die too. He's firing his premium rounds because he needs to. Because he needs to, you know? He's already got one of the best guns on a tier 6 heavy tank. What a useless... 300 damage from our IS. There goes the Tiger P. You missed. This guy's abysmally bad. Wow. Hopefully he's brand new to the game. Yes, he is. Wonderful. Good news. Let's see. He's, other than the Tiger P, somehow one of the top tier 7s. This guy, literally fighting a Panzer SFL and a Panther, manages 2 penetrations. That's impressive. Very impressive. Guess we keep going. Actually, do we have the next upgrade at least? Because I definitely want to be out of tier 5 as fast as possible, because these guys are absolute morons. No. Didn't even get enough with a ×5 going. For 4,000 experience. Good team, good team. That's what we like. see. I have many bad games, let me tell you. Alright, what can we make our very stock tank do? No, to be fair, this suspension really helps. It's nice being able to actually move around the battlefield. A lot of bad guys. My first shots love to go toward tracks, so I'm not feeling it, don't they? That's a real player, I think. Well, this guy certainly is. He's gonna have 1.5 million more DPM than I do. Still loaded? Awesome. Unfortunately for me, these two have decided to gang up on me. And my gun is absolutely dog water. Yeah. Game's over, by the way. Look at the score. This is so much fun. And I'm playing tier 5. You know, a lot of new players get to tier 5 in about a single day. And I just want to show you guys something. Really to put this into perspective. Oh, oops, I had a video in the background. Oopsies, okay. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay, just to put this into perspective. Just for you guys. How wonderful all this is. If this ever loads, because I think it's down right now. Nice, it's down. Well, now let's go to console. I don't know why that one's always falling down. Always going down. Okay. So, let's take a look here. My personal rating is up to 12,002. And those of you who don't know, that's insane. 11,000 is absolutely crazy. We have 12,002. 4,467 days since we first played the game. Okay. We have a 64.5% win rate. 53,000 games we've played in World of Tanks. That's a lot of games. We're pretty good at the game. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. We're good at this game. What are these black ones? I don't know. And there's nothing we can do in these low tiers when we're stocked. Nothing. You saw us just get stomped. Imagine now if you have less than 1,000 games and you're coming into play. Good freaking luck. Like, that platoon of leopards is so disrespectful. You should not be allowed to platoon lower than like tier 6 with other players who are also experienced. You can platoon with a new player at tier 5. You should not be allowed to platoon with other good players or other players who played the game. Like, that is so disrespectful and so toxic and bad for the game. Yet Wargaming does nothing to address it. Like, it's so bad. And not only that, they're just spamming premium rounds. Wow. In my opinion, it's bannable. If I ran this game, I would weed it out. Because here's the thing. A game is not good if the game is not good. Yes, obviously. Duh. But a game also isn't good even if the game is good, but the player base is toxic. Or the player base are the ones that hurt it. And so I would completely just filter this game and be like, okay, this person goes, this person goes, this person goes. And that sounds authoritarian. I know it does. But this game is trash. Let's be honest. Especially for new players. World of Tanks is trash. And it always has been. It's never been good for new players. Wow, this is cancerous. Steel clubbing is the reason why. It's a huge reason why. The only thing they've done to address it, so they've done two things in the past to address it. One was increase the health of tiers 1 through tiers 5. No, tiers 1 through tier 6. And that was a good change, because now you're not just getting one-shotted. Finally, we have a half-decent gun. That was actually a good change. Okay. Then the other thing they did, which was asinine, that's the word I'm using, which made no sense, was... Oh, we have even less DPM. They removed tier 1 and tier 2. Why? Because tier 1 and tier 2 was too toxic because new players were getting beat up on. That was their reasoning. We don't need tier 1 and tier 2 because players are getting beat up at tier 1 and tier 2. So, let's instead... And we haven't won a game, by the way, yet. Let's instead start them at tier 3. Well, that's the same problem because they're still brand new players, but instead of starting them at tier 1, you start them at tier 3. So now they have to experience it at tier 3, which, by the way, could fight tier 5 at the time. So instead of tier 1s only being able to fight sometimes tier 2s, you've now dropped them at tier 3, which can now fight tier 5s, which is the matchmaking I just had. That would be, back in the day, somebody's very first game in World of Tanks, World War II. And I'm convinced they did it that way so that players would play Cold War. I'm convinced they tried to make the new grind in World War II so bad, players would try Cold War. And that backfired in their face because people were coming in, trying Cold War, hating it, and leaving. There was a stat given early on, and it was 10% of the player base plays Cold War. And so you're forcing players to play a mode that people don't want to play. There are some that do, I get it. I don't get it. But I get that some people are weird. There are some that do. And that's fine. Dang it, I forgot I have such abysmal view range in this thing. Because I'm still stocked, but... Still. I have a bad feeling about this one again. But seal clubbing needs to stop. Remove marks of excellence until tier 7. I know that's like a hot take, but I'm serious. No marks of excellence. No stats. Your stats don't start counting until you're at tier 7. Yep, I mean it. Then you get rid of people like this. A lot of people just play these tanks because they're better and they get to seal club and they suck at the game. Like, a lot of these players that you see seal clubbing, they're really bad at the game. Most of the time they are. You put them in a normal tank, you put them at a tier 1 higher than they're at, you take away their premium rounds, and they can't do crap. Plain and simple. We're just stuck here until my team pushes up. Seem to have more maybe gun elevation with this gun. Well done. Any word on getting your book? Yes. You will have a tracking number soon. I'm waiting for my next paycheck. Things are tight. before I send out all the books, because shipping things is expensive right now. Everything has gone up. And so the next paycheck is scheduled, I believe, let me see, May 12th. So then that goes through May 13th. So expect probably around May 13th for a tracking number. I know it's taking a long time, but it's unfortunately all I can do. Oh, I thought he was going to turn this way, and then he unturned this way. It's a good juke, good juke. Wow, this rate of fire. Okay, so this tank is not going to be a Cromwell like I thought it might be. I was like, could this be a Cromwell because of how fast it is? No. No DPM, nothing. But don't worry, you have not been forgotten. All the books are signed. They're ready to go. Signed, dated, messaged. I'm just waiting on being able to afford sending them all. He's got much better rate of fire than I do. Wow, the bush doesn't work. Okay, so this bush doesn't work. Not only that, he saw me through and I didn't see him. I have a book. I already have a book written. It's, my opinion, not the greatest, but I am revising it because it did very, very well. Which surprised me. And so I'm revising it and rewriting it. So yes, I'm working on a book. And it's gotta be a good one. I can guarantee you that. Test audiences who have been able to read what I have written really like it thus far. It's taking a long time to get done though, because I'm very busy. But it's working out. So last month, so my goal is to do 25,000 words a month, and that's pretty difficult. And 2 months ago, I only got 8,000 words done. Last month though, I got 15,000, so pretty good. I'm hoping to get the double out of this because I think this tank is abysmal. The gun does not hit. It's a very long aim time, horrible accuracy. Horrible DPM. I'm gonna go straight into this guy because I don't want to get shot in the side by something else. Oh, he fired. 175 premium pen though is very nice. The penetration on this gun for a tier 5 is insane. But that doesn't mean much when you can't hit nothing. Book reading stream, when did I tried that? I'm not very good at it, but how about when it's done? But we're gonna be doing a lot of marketing for the book. We have a lot of plans, saving up a lot of money. We're gonna get it out. People are gonna know about it. I'm stoked for it. Sign you up. All right, it's gonna be a couple years. It's gonna be probably a couple years because I'm taking my time with it. So my first iteration, I wrote that one hit, okay, during COVID lockdown, and I wrote it in 2 months. Yeah, 130,000 words, 2 months. Yeah, I know you're there, you little zipper face. There goes the neighborhood. And I also wrote it in present tense for some reason, because for some reason I thought that was better at the time. Like, I want this to be told like it's happening now. It didn't work. Characters were good. The story was there. But I was an inexperienced writer. But now I've learned a ton. And I'm ready to try again. We got the 53, it's pretty bad. I don't think we win this game a freaking again because we're just playing against seal clubbers. Literally Hellcat 105, another tank that I would ban. Oh, we also have one. We both get banned. Now he's a one-shot for a Hellcat. Come on, Hellcat, get him, get him, get him. Okay, game, fine. Oh, I got saved, but it was still stupid. They both bounced off of each other. How are you both this bad? Anyway. The boogie, I'm hoping to get it. I feel like 1200 damage is a new record in this tank. I think no one has ever been able to achieve such an amazing result. Ever. I do. That second class, that means actually 2 times the ace. This is twice the ace that anyone has ever gotten in the DS. That's what that one means. Buy equipment with gold. Guys, if you're doing that, you're doing something wrong. We got the engine. And we got the turret. Wow, now we have view range. Look at that. Hey, Mayman. Boogie's broken. Dude, I got smoked by one of those things, HE rounds the other day, and I was like, what the heck? Brian Battles. What's he say? Love your videos. Thank you. What do you think he was in? Do you think he was in a broken tank? He was. He was. Oh well. Oh well. Can't fix them all. Okay, now that we're fully upgraded though, we're gonna turn that off. Those times 5s are valuable. We want to save them. Save them for my stock tanks. But yeah, we gotta get up this line. You have my first book? Oh, that's right. Sorry, I thought you were someone who won the book. Oh, my apologies. You're trying to get me to sign the book. That's something I'm trying to work on myself. Because I don't really know how to do that because my wife obviously doesn't want, and I don't have a P.O. box, doesn't want my address out there, obviously, for obvious reasons. I will have signings when when the revised book comes out. And so if I am nearby, I'm going to try to tour. We're saving a lot of money for that. We're trying to tour the country. You know, drop on by and I'll sign it for you. And this is my rule. This is my rule. If you show up with my original book, I will sign it for you, and I will also give you and sign for you the revised edition for free. So if you buy the original, you get the revised one for free. If you find it. But if I get a P.O. box as well, that's another way. We'll just have you. I'll have you send it to me, and then I'll send it back. Or I don't know. I'll just buy it if I can. If I find the chance to do that, I'll just buy. Hey, you didn't see me. Nice. I'll just buy one for you and then send it to you if you send me the address or whatever. But we can do it. We'll figure it out. I want to go all the way in here. Like 3K. Hey, there's a tank that's just much better than mine. Thank you, gun, for shooting straight. Maybe 2, huh? That's less than ideal. I'll take that trade. 90 damage for 150? Thank you. Back to work for you already. GG, Godzilla, man. That's XP right there, I'm taking that. Do I beat his reload? We're about the same. That's not smart of you, buddy. Why would you shoot me over the tiger? Bad shot. I could have tracked him there. Thing about the Germans is you can track them and damage them when they're cresting. Same. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Okay. Glad that shot went straight. Oh! Didn't even have to aim it, huh? I'm lucky you didn't pen. But still, I feel like my gun is derpier. I like AV2s. I haven't played the Rhinocerante yet. Creature's dead, that's huge. I think we're gonna win this one. Oh, I have no premium rounds. That's fine. turret's jammed. Now your gun's broken. And I don't have a shot. Fired. One day. Save me! He's like, gotta kill the clone guy! And he almost did. 1885. This has got to be like a ×3 ace tanker right here. Almost worthless. I think it is. It's so easy to pen. So easy to kill when it's all down. It has nothing going for it. Poor DPM. The alpha damage isn't impressive. It's got an auto reloader, which has horrible stats. Well, this is where I die. Ah, we bounced, of course, too. That's fun. That's really fun. You lose experience when you die. You don't get the survival bonus. Oh, you bounced. Wow, we actually lose this. Our T-71 is doing who knows what. On my way, he says. Well, where were you to begin with? Oh man, I thought this guy was having a good game. He's got 500 damage. And a Cheeto SP. Which is an amazing vehicle, by the way. Any drifting happening? Not today. We're in very, bad tanks. Grinding. I gotta get... Well, there will be drifting, though, once we get to the higher tiers on this line. That's for sure. And I've got another light tank video coming out. Either today or tomorrow. I don't know when I want to release it yet. This guy's doomed. And once again, the T-71 is in the wrong place. Dude, he's going to come up from behind you. He's going to come from that way. That way. How do I know this? Because he hasn't appeared in front of him yet. Oh, wow, I was wrong. Oh my gosh, I was wrong and my guy was right and he misses! How do you miss? And I want to know what our T-71 has been doing this entire time. He keeps going the exact wrong place. It's like, dude, stay with your team. One bounce. 2 bounces. Now you have to reload. Yeah, he does. Okay. That's insane, dude. Now you waste a shot. Don't wait for him. Don't wait for him. Because now he gets to ram you. And he's got the reload on you now. Wow. I would trade that T-71. Probably for maybe the Tiger I had a few games ago who did nothing. I think he might have done better. He just went the wrong way every single time. Somehow every time he chose the wrong play. I don't know how he did it. Option C. Option C. Next time, how about option A or B? So what is my win rate in this thing right now? I think we played 6 games and we've won 1 game. Not good. Love the jump I did yesterday. Wasn't that on this map? Or was there another jump? We're top tier. But you have a tryhard platoon, so good luck. Good luck. We don't have DPM, we don't have gun handling, we can do everything right and still lose because of that. We'll try. We'll try. Oh, we've got also the snake bite we're going to be playing soon for a video. Activate my food for the extra view range and see if I can spot anything down here. They got to get really close to us for us to spot them. Is that all you got? Got a red pen mark on his turret. Well, I win that one. That is one of the tryhards down. Awkward. You want some? I'll kill you too. Won't be hair off my back. It's gonna be hair off my back. There's a friend. How does his hit and mine miss? This tank is so bad. Snaps me in my... right through the turret front. Oh man, I hate this tank. It's big, it's long, it's got no armor, the DPM is bad, and the gun is so derpy. Golly. What team do I play for? Right now I play for DFI. But I'm going to be going back to Zeke next Calamity season. I'm going to try to, anyway. But I'm so inconsistent with being able to play, that's why I'm playing for DFI. They allow that with me anyway. Zeke does too, but I don't think it's as fair because Zeke is very, very professional. And has some very good players, the best in the world, some of the best in the world, and so I don't like doing that to them, but they let me do it anyway. Fuel tank one shots? No. Will this guy notice on his left? Oh, he does. Okay, there we go. No, what likely happened is I don't know. I don't necessarily trust the Wargaming's internal module system where it tells you where everything is, because there's multiple locations that ammo is held oftentimes. And then of course you also have to consider the fact that if it was a high explosive round, it would explode, which has a chance of damaging any and all modules within its explosion radius. So even if your ammo rack wasn't where the shell passed through, if it exploded, it, you know, could have done more. Another thing that can happen is if your fuel tank is hit and it combusts, so it gets lit on fire, that can damage your ammo rack. And I have had that happen before, where I get set on fire, hitting the fuel tank. The first tick damages my ammo rack, and then before I can put the fire out, the second tick blows it. So technically, indirectly, your fuel tank can cause your tank to explode in one shot because it damages the ammo rack twice. So that can still happen, and that may have also been what happened. Or it hits you and the shell passes through, and even though your ammo rack wasn't exactly where you hit, because the shell continues on its trajectory, it does hit it at some point. So that could also be something. Wow. The 15 and 60 TP are great. I like those. This tank I hate. I think it's so bad. And I want some balance, you know what I mean, at these lower tiers, but you don't really get that. You either get tanks that are really good or tanks that are really bad. There's no in between, because I'm the same tier as a captured KV-1. Let that sink in. I'm the same tier as an M4 Sherman. This grind is awful. I've got ×3 goings. ×3s going. There we go. And this is something else. Well, we get the boogie next, which is going to be better. Of course, will be stock. But the thing that I would change on this tank, you know what? The armor is bad. Sure, so be it. The tank is huge. Lengthwise, sure, so be it. Whatever. The DPM is abysmal. Whatever. Why is the gun handling so bad? You know what I mean? Like, it's huge. The bloom is huge. I swear I've got a smaller bloom on my KV-2. And other than vents, which I don't have on here, you can't get it any smaller. I have snapshot and smooth ride. And they gave away the premium, so you called it a day. Makes sense. Also, we won last game, which blows my mind, because last game we were up against that tryhard platoon. Well, you know why they lost? We killed one of them, and so then their big super heavy decided that he wanted to kill me. And so he put himself in a spot where he couldn't do anything except counter me. And so he lost the game. He should have been pushing with his ally, but he didn't. It's just that you need to avenge me. Avenge me, brother. Uh-oh. Come on, DPM! Reload, 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 reload! He did it. Are you gonna do this? He's got so much more DPM than I do. I just needed to miss some shots. Oh, you think I'm a bot? I'm not a bot. You're the bot. Just don't set me on fire. Well, thanks for feeding me, sir. I actually really appreciate that. Go, 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 go. I forgot to take premium rounds, but that's a fuel tank. Don't fix it, don't fix it, don't fix it. Don't shoot me. Look at him. I will shoot you. Well, then I'll shoot you. Your friends are dead. You got a pretty good reload. We're gonna fix that. I'm not gonna let him shoot me again. What now? You're just gonna sit there aiming at me while you're getting shot in the side? I want to shoot this higher tier tank. That's more XP. Everybody wants to shoot the clone guy. That's money. Oh, that's a bad shot. I might die here now. I do die here. Look at that. I don't die here. I have fire fighting on here. Gotta go, the brim bar's behind me. Actually, he's there. Still behind me, though. To be expected. That was nuts. I'll take it. 2,800 damage. Maybe that is what we need. Off to work. See ya. Maybe that's the ace tanker. I doubt it. Yes, it is! We did it! Yay! Now I don't have a tank in my garage that sits there without an ace tanker that I never play again. 1556, that's it. That's all you need for an ace in this forsaken tank. And I feel like you could get that if you throw on camo net and binocular telescope and you sit in a bush. Also, we got steel wall. One more win with half decent damage and we'll be done. We can play the boogie. Man, that game was full of luck and unluck at the same time. That was World of Tanks. That's finest. Like getting set on fire by that heavy tank. When we went to push him and we missed the first shot. That was awful. But then an ally comes and saves the day. Amazing. And then heavy tank and a medium tank push to kill me. But my heavy tank saves me again. And then he dies. And then the leopard saves me from those guys by clipping out the medium tank and scaring away the heavy tank. Then I escape. But then I run into the broom bar. And he fumbles. And we get a shot into him. He drives past us. Then we put a tank between us. And then the leopard comes and saves us again. That was insane. 3 Nash horns. I don't think you'll ever see 3 Nash horns in the same game, let alone the same team.
Hello there.
Hello. Who are you? Let me see. Iron Mike 2408. Thanks for subscribing here on YouTube. We have people still following me over on Twitch, but I don't stream to Twitch anymore. And the reason for that is because I kind of just don't like how Twitch is run and the people behind it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stream there anymore. And so I don't. Besides, my people are here. They're on the YouTube. Brumbar. Is it the same guy? Great shot. Who are you? Notice me. Missed. Missed again. Oh, now the Nashhorn shot me. Yeah, this tank doesn't feel as fast as I thought it would. You know, having 19 horsepower per ton, 56 km/h top speed, I thought this thing would move around, but it really doesn't. It's not slow. None are particularly fast. I didn't think so, but I thought this one might be. I was hoping it would kind of be like a Cromwell, but at tier 5, because I was looking at the stats. But they don't tell you. The soft stats are kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes it's like, oh, it has horrible train resistances, but then you play it and it's like, no, it doesn't. Or vice versa. It has good train resistances, and then you play it, and it's like, how does this have good train resistances? Bootleg. I would probably argue that these ones might be worse, simply because these are gonna be... They're not gonna have the same guns, right? At least the bootleg Chinese have similar guns. know you're doomed when an M44 is looking at you. One of the scariest artillery pieces. Oh, boy. Pretty sure I can go through his breach with this gun, but it's not happening. Yeah, we can. There we go. Oh, full pen from Artie? That's disgusting. But he full pen my Tiger with his AP round. It's also disgusting. What's with these X-File guys? They're like in every one of my games. Some X-File player. And they've been platooned, and then they've not been platooned, and it's like there's so many of them. I don't think we're gonna win this one. No, I really don't. These are much better than the Chinese. Gotta move because of Hellcat shots on us. Now we can leave. Right now I'm trying to preserve as much health as I can in the hope that we can win this game. T-22 Proto just killed both of my advancing medium tanks. I have a VK. I also have a KV-220. It's gonna be difficult to deal with without premium rounds. My premium rounds would cheese through it though. So they're all over here. Ah, man, this is great. Look at their health. You know what I mean? If I had a gun that could hit and had some form of DPM, one or the other. But this tank does neither. It has no DPM and it doesn't hit. That Rambo's good though. That's actually gonna really help me. You're scarier. Nuts, man. I just have to shoot them. I just have to be like, hello. Maybe Tony be like, not getting killed by that guy. Got him. Do what you have to do. Oh, is that army guy? Is that his stuff? They flood the lower tiers? Apparently. No! We have to do it again! We're 302 XP away, but we'll turn off the booster. Nope. Punched my mic as well while we're in the process. Alrighty, last one, and then I never have to play this tank again unless for some reason I get killed by one during playing what kills me. But I see that being next to impossible because the DPM and the gun is so bad. it might shoot me and pen me at one point. But before he gets to kill me, everyone else will, so. Also, last I checked, I've been unbanned from Army Guy's streams. Which means he probably got a lot of flack. No, I'm still banned. Never mind. View details. Wait, I was unbanned, and now I'm rebanned. Because before, it told me for stream sniping. Now it doesn't tell me. So what did he do? He banned me, I think? Or he unbanned me, then rebanned me, just so it wouldn't say for stream sniping anymore. That's insane. I'll show you what I mean. So before, if you guys remember, it would tell you for stream sniping. It would tell you the reason for the ban. Now it doesn't. And I had clicked on his stream the other day. And I was able to watch. So I think he unbanned me and then rebanned me, but this time without a reason. So that it doesn't say for stream sniping anymore. So it's just because he doesn't like me, I guess. Which is insane to me. Because the only reason he has followers is because of me. I'm the one who gave him the boost in the beginning. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what you do. Oh, but I like Wargaming, and so I need to make sure I don't like CloneGuy. You back up so slowly. That was a play and a half. My pigs are at the left and M44. That would be the left. And this is the Murders Clan, so this is that really toxic lady tanker who hates me just because, again, I'm CloneGuy. Hella? Is that her name? Well, good. We get to kill a Karen. That's why we exist. To get Karens. Yep. Get blocked. I did that on purpose. This guy is shooting me. Have I served? Yes, I have. You remember him in my chat all the time? Yeah, no, we were completely supportive of him. And he wanted to start streaming. He asked me all these questions, and I helped him out and got him started and got him going. And then since then, it's been... Well, he's just, like, cut me out. I literally have done nothing to him. That's the funny thing. Oh, wow, that went straight, apparently. Might just be like that. 2017. Only a year, though, because I got medically discharged, so pretty bad stuff happened. And it was the Army. Didn't last long, unfortunately. I had a heart attack. And then we found out I had these autoimmune disorders. It made it impossible for me to stand very long, and we didn't know I had them until the Army because of the stress that I was put under. And so then I got discharged just a year later. Look at this reload, it's so long. Did I complete basic? Thank goodness, no. So what happened was, I'll get into the story once I get killed by the Hellcat. So the day before I was supposed to go to basic, shipped out to basic. So it was Army Guard. I'm kind of dead here because I was shooting. And so how the National Guard works is you get the weekend trainings, and so, which is pretty cool. You get to get experience before you even go to basic. And so I would train on the weekends, and I pulled a muscle, or I didn't know what I had done to my shoulder. Something happened to my shoulder, I didn't know what it was, and I suspected it had to do with a previous injury when I dislocated it when I was 15. Turns out that was true. That's what had happened. Hey, we hit that shot apparently. And I re-injured it during training. And so this was the day before I was supposed to be shipped to Fort Sill. And my sergeants come to me and they're just like, look, if we send you out now, you're going to fail. Plain and simple, you can't do push-ups. So we're going to cancel. Unfortunately, you know, they're like, oh, unfortunately, that's going to cost us money because they can't just fill that seat, and that seat cost us $56,000. You know, that kind of thing. They give you that spiel. But the sergeants were also really understanding because they knew, as far as they were concerned, I heard it while training because I didn't tell them about the previous injury, and you don't do that, you know. I mean, and it was true though. I heard it during training, but apparently it's a torn rotator cuff. So, anyway, that's beside the point. So nothing serious. It wasn't serious, but it saved my life because I still went to the weekend training because this was a Saturday and I was being shipped off on a Sunday, and so I stayed instead at the base to train, and we were doing our run, the 2-mile run, and I couldn't do it. It was really weird. So I'd been training to get my run time down. You know, I used to be able to do a mile in 5 minutes, 10 seconds, and so it was not a problem to pass the 2 miles. It was super easy. But as I was training back at home on the treadmill, my mile was getting slower and slower, and I didn't know what was going on. Why is my mile getting slower and slower? And I was donating plasma at the time because I was living on my own, and I needed the extra money. And twice while donating, they were like, hey, your heart's acting a little bit weird. It's very rapid. Maybe you ought to go get it, you know, checked. And I was like, no, nothing's wrong. I walked here because I walked everywhere, and that's why my heart was so fast. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So they had me sit down until it slowed down. Once it got to the acceptable rate, they would take my plasma. You know, no red flags there. Except that while I was donating plasma and they were putting the blood back in, my vein burst. It exploded. And they thought at the time it was because my technician punctured through my vein and was accidentally pumping the blood back into my arm and not into the vein itself. But later we found out it's because the blood vessel burst. How does a blood vessel burst? Well, with high blood pressure or low blood pressure. And in this case, it was low blood pressure, which led to high blood pressure. And how does that work? Well, because my blood wasn't moving. My blood wasn't flowing in my body while I was sitting there giving blood. And so the blood had nowhere to go, creating a high blood pressure, and then pff, it popped. And so my arm was filled with blood. And that was a pretty interesting ordeal. But again, we didn't think anything of it. It was just a freak accident. No, there was something underlying this whole time, and it wasn't until that Sunday at base. Maybe it was Saturday. Maybe it was the same day. I can't remember exactly what day it was. But it was on the weekend, obviously, because I was at base. And I'm doing the 2 miles, and I run the first mile. Not the first mile, the first lap. And the second lap. And I dodged, I ran. No, I would have been out by now. But I was supposed to be in Ukraine until 2021. But I would have been pulled out because of Biden. Anyway, so it didn't really matter. But, oh, he killed himself. I don't think he meant to. But I ran the first 2 laps, so half a mile, and then I couldn't run anymore. My legs were heavy. My chest was hurting. Unlike anything I'd ever felt before. My left arm was shooting pains going down my arm. And, of course, being 19 years old, you don't think, you're having a heart attack. You think you're out of shape, which is exactly what I thought. I thought I was out of shape. This is not good. And so I kept running, or trying to. The sergeant's, of course, yelling at me because I'm barely running. But the rest of the soldiers are deciding to continue to run with me, despite the fact that they're all done. They've all finished the running. Most of them have qualified just fine. But I'm like dead at half a mile. Despite that, I kept going because I had all these soldiers around me cheering me on, rooting for me and running with me. And so I kept going and I kept going. It took me 24 minutes. And I didn't even finish. I still had one more lap to go, but the sergeant stopped me. They said, enough. They knew something was wrong. And so they had me sit down and lay down. I was out of it. I couldn't think. And I'm just like walking in circles. And I didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going on. But they didn't do anything about it other than have me stop running. It wasn't until later we had some guns we needed to clean because we were earlier that day firing the 50 cals from the tanks. And we take them to the hangar to clean them, and that's about half a mile down from the hangar that we train in. And so we march there, and not really march, we run there, a running march, and that hurt like the dickens. But we get there and we clean the guns. My chest is still hurting. I still feel out of shape, like I'm not getting oxygen. Like, it's just something is wrong. I'm still not getting oxygen. But we clean the guns. It takes hours. Holy moly. Cleaning those 50 cals, those Browning 50 cals, is a process. I don't know if you guys have ever taken apart a Browning 50 cal. We had 2 of them, and clean them. It's a nightmare. I remember cutting my fingers so many times trying to pull those things apart. But, look at that. We got the boogie now. Woohoo. But that took hours. Then we had to march back when we were done to our hangars, and this was finally when I spoke up. Because none of the sergeants were there. We were instead given over to a cadet. He was a very nice cadet. And this is where I was like, okay, I can speak up now. And I told him, I can't run. There's something wrong. And he looks at me and he goes, huh, okay. So he has us all march instead. He gets us to our hangar. The sergeants aren't there. They've all gone to get dinner. And the cadet leaves and leaves us instead with our platoon leader, who was incredible. 17-year-old private first class, amazing kid, top of his class. And we're standing at attention. well, at ease. The first at ease. There's multiple at eases if you don't know. You go to attention, then you go to at ease, which is resting attention, and then you go to at ease again where you can move around. But we were at resting attention. And I can hardly see. Everything is disappearing. I can hardly hear. My limbs are changing colors. My hands are black. And I go, I need to sit down. And my platoon leader's like, okay. And so he takes me into one of the classrooms. You had to clean the MK19s before, so you think the M2 is very similar? Potentially. You could be a middle-aged man with the body of an old-age pensioner. It's true. So I'm sitting there, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'm gonna make some phone calls and see if we can get the sergeants back, because they're out. I guess they were out getting Chinese food or something. And he was a cool guy. He was willing to take the flak for it, because interrupting the sergeants while they're out eating is a big no-no. But he does anyway, and he calls the sergeants, gets a hold of Sergeant Kramer. He was kind of the guy in charge, and he was also a medic, which is fantastic. Very, very good. And so he comes back, and I'm sitting at a chair at a desk when he walks in, and I've got my arms on my desk, and the first thing he doesn't notice the desk first, but he walks in, and the first thing he just says is, Morway, since when are you that white? Because he sees my face, and it's completely flushed, and he walks in. Then he sees my hand, and it's black. It's dead. There's no coming back. It's gone. All right, so it was 8 hours ago that we had the run. So it's 8 hours later. Since the run, because we ran before lunch. Now we're at dinner, late dinner. And I know this is taking a while to tell the story, but I'm getting distracted because of all these things. 11,000 for that. Did we just upgrade? I'm going to use the free XP for this gun, because I think this gun is better. Okay, there we go. And so he comes over. He has an Apple Watch. So he puts it on because he wants to get my heartbeat, and it was at 160. And I'm sitting down. I was sitting down waiting for them to return for about 45 minutes. So I've been sitting for 45 minutes, and my heart rate is 160. And he's like, okay, this is not good. We need to get you somewhere. So they drove me to the hospital, and the hospital's like, well, we don't exactly know what's going on because you're doing just fine. Because at this point now I'm laying down in one of their beds. And since we didn't know what I had yet, we didn't know that laying down makes it all better, because I have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, where when I'm upright, my heart has a tough time pumping blood. And so my upper body doesn't get oxygen, and like my heart and my brain. We don't know that's what is going on. And they're like, we don't exactly know what happened, why whatever happened. And they said, we're going to take a look at your heart. And they find some abnormalities on the heart. And they found out that I had the flu the month before. And so they assume those abnormalities on the heart is microviral carditis. And so that is what they diagnosed me with. Basically, I had the flu, and the flu made its way to my heart. It inflamed the heart. The heart had a tough time. And I had like this kind of like minor heart attack. That's basically what they thought. Which is like, okay, which the sergeant had mentioned to the doctor that the flu was going around on base, and we literally just had a sergeant unfortunately die the week before on the treadmill. Same reason. He had the flu, thought he was better. The flu was instead still in his heart. He had microviral carditis, had a heart attack while running, and died. Really sad. And so they assumed that's what happened to me. And it was a good assumption. But they were wrong. Unfortunately, they were wrong. And it wasn't until my next training where it happened again. This time I wasn't allowed to run or do anything because they were trying to figure out what was going on. And so I was instead the flag boy. I had the flag, and I would carry it everywhere we went. I was at the front of the march. And then I passed out while standing. Why'd I pass out? It was a good thing because I was having another heart attack. And that was when I got a new doctor, and she's like, I have a theory, we're going to test it. So they did this whole tilt test. They strapped me to a table, tilted me forward, had me standing there for 35 minutes tilted, and then they had like this spray they sprayed in my face, and it knocked me out. And they're like, okay, yeah, this is weird. And she's like, yeah, you have POTS. So the nurse is going to take care of you, and then I'm going to do some surgery on you. I'm like, surgery? Just like that? Okay. While on the tilt test. So now she leaves, the nurse has me, and he tilts me back. And this is in Idaho. This is a horrible hospital. And by that, I mean they have old stuff. The the heart monitor is still this little plastic ticker, which has these flaps that go up and down when the heartbeat changes. So it ticks up and down, so it doesn't just jump from, 166, which is where my heart rate was, down to 80 when I'm laying down. Instead, it starts to descend. It ticks downward. And so he has me upright. It's 166. Then he lays me down, and it drops immediately to 80. My heart rate drops down to 80. He doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It drops down to 80 in the blink of an eye. But the ticker doesn't display it like that. It starts counting down rapidly. Like, he thinks my heart has stopped. He starts freaking out and pulls the health cord because he thinks I've gone into cardiac arrest. He thinks my heart has stopped. He's like, he's dying. I messed up. This is awful. And I just assure him, like, no, I'm fine. Nothing's going on. I forgot a crew, by the way. And he's like, you're okay? I'm like, yeah. It finally settles down at about 66, the heart rate. And he's like, what the heck? And the doctor comes in, and she's like, yep, that basically confirms that you have POTS. When you're standing upright, your heart, your blood doesn't get the oxygen it needs. And so I'm going to put a heart monitor in you. And so she cut me open and put a heart monitor in while I'm right there on the table. And it turns out my body reacted negatively to the anesthetic, or whatever it is they use for numbing. And it actually made it worse. Yeah, I can't pen this guy from the front, unfortunately. He knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's too bad. But yeah, they put a heart monitor in with... that was painful. Because that didn't work. And then they tested me for POTS. Well, they tested me for lupus, and I came back positive for that. And because of all my back pains, they tested me for ankylosing spondylitis. I came back with that. And a few months later, I got discharged from the military. Of course, they're like, if you can't stand without having a heart attack, you can't exactly be in the Army. And so that's what happened. Oh, but then I dropped the colors. Yes. I have hands again. They don't know how. And that's what the doctors said. They were like, when you came here, your hands were dead. You had no oxygen. They were black. We don't know. You should have permanent damage, but no, they're perfectly fine. I don't know how that happened. They don't know how that happened. It's considered a miracle, which it is. I remember our medic looking over my chart, and then he looks at me, and he goes, Morway, science does not explain why you're alive. He's like, you had a heart attack for 8 hours that we didn't know was a heart attack. Your hands were dead. They were black. Your body dropped temperature. You had no oxygen to your brain, had no oxygen to your heart, and yet you're sitting here in front of me. He's like, this is insane. And so then they called me to a meeting, and this is different. This doesn't usually happen. And they called me out of formation. And they're like, we need to talk to you. And this is right before I get discharged, unfortunately. And so I go into this room, and all the sergeants are there. And I'm like, well, I didn't say anything, because obviously you don't speak until you're spoken to. And they're sitting around on couches, and they tell me, please have a seat. And so I get to sit. And our master sergeant let me sit in his chair, because it's a very nice chair. So I'm sitting in his chair, and they're just sitting around me, and they're just like, Morway, we think that God has you alive for some reason, because you should be dead, but you're not. And we really hope that reason is with us in the Army. For that reason, I'm an undead. They said, for that reason, we want you to go into direct fire. That's literally what they said. My sergeant says to me, the medic one, not Master Sergeant, First Sergeant Kramer. He says, we want you to go into direct fire. Because I survived this heart attack. He's like, we want people to shoot at you because we don't think you can die. And I'm sitting there like, I see the logic. And being 20 now at this point, I'm 20 years old. I go, sign me up, let's do it. And they say, wonderful. We'll handle the paperwork. We know you're military intelligence. Don't worry about that. We'll get you transferred over. Of course, I'm going to take a pay cut, but it's fine. If I'm being shot at, then actually, you know, I actually get paid more. Not on paper, but I get paid more if I'm actually being shot at. And so I'm like, let's do it. I'll do infantry. And they said, wonderful. They said, those soldiers out there, they follow you. They're inspired by you. And humiliated by you because you're somehow still putting in more work than they are, but you're going to die if you do it, and you need to stop. So, okay. So that's what happened. So they start working on the paperwork to get me transferred from military intelligence into infantry. And then 2 months later, I got discharged anyway, so it didn't matter. And I didn't think it was going to pan out anyway. And I assume a lot of them probably didn't think it was going to pan out, but they wanted to try. But then the MEPS doctor got a hold of my chart, and he's just like, no. And had me discharged. And that was my career. It would certainly be hard to hit if you're always in the prone. It's true. It's true. Okay. Do we have any other upgrades? We don't. Okay, well, that's the story. That's what happened. I got discharged. I went back home. I got super depressed, unfortunately. For 2 years, I was bedridden. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to manage my symptoms. I got a cardiologist. He didn't know what to do. And he was watching my the scarring. So he took a look at it. Oh, this is also one of the reasons why they realized it was a heart attack and not microviricarditis, because 6 weeks later, when the inflammation is supposed to go down, the doctor took a look and he goes, it hasn't changed at all. You still have that inflammation. And he goes, oh, that's scarring. That's not inflammation. That's scarring. You have scarring on the heart. And so that's when they were like, oh yeah, you had a heart attack. And so, and here's the craziness isn't done yet, because then I get home, I get a cardiologist. He's going to be taking a look at me every year. So he takes a look at me right when I get back home, and he takes a look at the scarring, and he's like, oh, wow, yeah, wow. You know, he's like, this is a rare case. You don't usually have, 20-year-olds who have already had a heart attack, somebody as healthy as you. And he's like, and your heart beats strong. He says, you have an athlete's heart, which of course I did. I played baseball and karate and was in the military. I was a very active person. He says, you have an athlete's heart. This is something new. A year later, he took another look, and he looks through it, and then he looks again. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. He's like, your scarring is gone. And this doctor was baffled. He's like, this doesn't happen. He's like, you have no scarring on your heart. It's gone. And I remember just being like, yeah, okay. Anyway, tell me something that's surprising with what I've been through these last 2 years. And he's like, wow, I mean, I guess we can take out your heart monitor if you want. And I said, sure, let's take out the heart monitor. So he schedules the surgery. He's actually a surgeon as well, which is quite convenient. And I just happened to get scheduled on a day where he was in. And this is more comical. I go in, and he's like, oh, okay, we're going to have you disrobe, take off your shirt. You can keep your shorts on. That's fine. And he sits me on the table, and he's using something else on my chest, because I told him whatever was used before, I felt everything. And he said, okay, so I can't remember what he used this time, but it worked. But he takes off the sheet that's on my chest, and he goes, whoa! Hey, can we turn down the lights in here? I have never had this happen, but you are so white, you are blinding me. So, yeah, I'm that white, that the doctor could not see because of mice flesh. But yeah. But we just had a recent instance the other day. Was it the vaccine? No, I didn't get the vaccine. This is 2018. It was not the vaccine, and I still don't have the vaccine. And I'm not gonna get it. It would be silly for me to get it. Plus, I already had COVID twice, and I did just fine. But no, I don't have that vaccine. I'm just not gonna do that. Gotta kill the clone guy. And my doctor agreed. My new doctor, she's like, yeah, it's probably a good idea not to get the vaccine. Because we don't know what it'll do to you. And plus, if you already had COVID, I did, and I basically shrugged it off. The second time was miserable. This tank is much better. Did I complete basic in 8? No, I did not. Yeah, right at the start of the story, they decided not to send me to basic because of my shoulder, and that saved my life. Well, maybe it saved my life because frankly I should have died anyway, but I didn't. So I mean, it was a miracle anyway. So I feel like I wouldn't have died at basic, but it still would have been miserable being stuck there. So I never finished, unfortunately. But I still got to have a lot of the experience, thankfully, because it was the National Guard, which still does things even before basic training. But, and that's the weird thing, is it's like, well, technically you're a disabled veteran, and I know that technically I am. I just hate considering myself one because I feel like I didn't put in the work. That's life, right? But I am. I remember my recruiter telling me that. She was like, listen, I don't care what anyone says. She's like, you did. Alright? You are. You're a veteran. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She's like, You've been through more than most of these guys ever will. And I was like, gee, thanks. Because it was traumatic. Me being able to tell you guys this story without freezing is really good. I've come a long way. And so, my most recent thing that's happened now is, I went with my wife. We like to go out and get drinks. It's like, fountain drinks. Or we go to Dollar General. We live in the middle of nowhere, so there's a Dollar General. And we like to get, like, teas and sodas and whatever. Every other day or something. And so we go out, and, unfortunate. Oh, they jumped off. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't think I can pen him. We're gonna try. Oh, we did. What do you know? Let's just go this way now. Oh, the engine, nice. Yeah, we like getting our drinks, but I get a drink and I start drinking, and then my body hurts badly, worse than a Hellcat's gonna kill me. Misses. I don't want to die. I want to keep my. Nope. I'm gonna keep my bonus, my survival bonus. And when I don't know what's going on, it feels like a heart attack. Well, it was, but I didn't know that yet. Then it happens again when I get the same drink later. And that's when I start piecing putting the pieces together. For some people who have lupus, which I do, when the syrup mixtures are wrong in a fountain drink or off, whatever, it's basically more syrup than they're supposed to be, it can trigger a heart attack. It's very rare, but it can. And so fountain drinks can kill me. not in the over long amounts of time because, you know, it's soda and high fructose corn syrup and whatnot. But no, right then and there. So that's what's going on. But while I was deep in my depression, didn't know what to do, that was when I wrote my book. Basically, my doctor was going to prescribe me medication for some kind of antidepressant medication. I didn't want to go on antidepressants. I'm like, I don't want to use medication for this. This goes against, I guess kind of what I believe. I don't want to do this. I want to take care of myself, but I couldn't. And so I do believe now these days, and then if you can't, then you go on antidepressants. But again, I didn't want to. And so what do you do? What do I do? Well, then I had this idea to write a book. I was out at 2 o'clock in the morning, walking around town, looking to die. And I got to a really low point, and I dropped to my knees and just started praying and praying. And then I suddenly had this idea for a book. And so I ran back home, started writing things down, and I'm like, okay, let me sleep on this. And I woke up in the morning, and I wrote down 9,000 words in just a matter of hours. Like, this is what I want to do. And I had an appointment with my doctor that same day. And so I get into the Zoom meeting with her, because it was during COVID. And she looks at me, and she goes, something has changed. She's like, I was going to prescribe you antidepressants, but something happened. I can just see it in your face. And so I told her about the book. And so she smiles and she goes, okay, I will give you one of two options. I need to prescribe you something today because you are depressed. And so, do you want to go on antidepressants or do you want to write a book? And I said, I want to write the book. And she said, okay, then I'm prescribing you that. And you have to write it, though. And I'm like, I will. And so I got prescribed writing a book. That was my doctor prescription. So I wrote a book, mostly just for fun, just for me. Got it into some hands of people. Suddenly, Sony, New Line Cinema, and Fox reach out, and they want a screenplay version. And I go, I don't have a screenplay version. I'm like, can you make us a screenplay version? Well, not us, but because they're not talking for each other. But they all wanted a screenplay version. And I was like, no. I had no intention of making a screenplay version. And I was like, well, if you do, come back to us with this. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. New Line Cinema did Lord of the Rings, and Fox did The Last Chronicles of Narnia. Now Fox is bought by Disney, so that's a different story. And Sony was on fire with the Spider-Man movies. I was like, this is really cool. But I decided instead to revise it. But I wasn't able to get to that because then I met a girl, and then we got married, and family, and everything. You know, I can't work properly, and all this. It's just a lot of stuff going on at once, and I am alone over here and scared out of my mind. We're gonna fight the best we can. Load up our premium rounds. And so now I'm working on the revised edition, and that is that's where we are. And I want to get it traditionally published. I self-published it before. I'm like, nope, we're gonna revise it. We're gonna make it past tense. Because it's not past tense right now. It's present tense, which is weird. And we're gonna get it re-released. And then maybe we do get it in the hands of some movie publishing company or whatever, and let them make a movie out of it. Right now, all I want is to get the book going and do it well, and so people like it and enjoy it. So we'll go from there. I will write a book on my life as well, but I'm going to do that once I get better at writing too. Because it's a lot. And that's not even the half of it. Okay? That's just the beginning. That's the intro. Because then I get married. And turns out my wife's best friend is a narcissist whose chosen victim is my wife. And we had no idea at the time. And that led into just awful things. And which we're still just getting out of in the last year and a half. But it's like, man, oh man. And so I'm like taking all these experiences and I'm pouring them into my characters. We're losing this game despite the fact that it was me and one other guy on this flank. And we managed to kill off their heavy tank, 2 of their heavy tanks, their Panzer IV, and their CloneGuy. Sound like your dad? You gotta kill the CloneGuy. Yeah, that's the story. But yeah, before I left the army, they were calling me the old man, despite being 19 and then 20, simply because of everything that I had. The old man. But no, I've gotten a lot better at managing my symptoms, eating properly, and I've even figured out how to work out. Oh, a lot of trauma and medical issues? Yeah, trauma's tough. But that's, writing has been my best therapy. And I wish I had gotten into that earlier. Because unfortunately I sought comfort and numbness in other ways, which are less than ideal. In the sense of the P word, pornography. That was a rough ride, a rough road to try to escape from. And it's still ongoing. There's still a slip-ups here and there that I'm not pleased about. Not at all. But my wife has been great. She's been helping me find the proper resources and the proper accountability programs. And I've got a friend who's been going through it with me, and we're both basically on the other side, which is so nice. It's quite freeing. When did we have a kid? Our kid is 20 months old. So almost 2 years now. But like, pornography is one of those things where you don't think it hurts. Like, it's just not hurting anyone. But man, it is destructive. It's one of those things where you think you can put it down anytime, but then it calls you back and you want more. And then sometimes you put money into it, or you put more money into it, or you want something bigger and better. And it wasn't good. and the effect it has on your brain. Some recent studies have shown that it affects your brain more than drugs do. Like the amount of dopamine you get is like more than getting high on marijuana. So yeah, I got to learn a lot about that. So now my wife and I, we also want to write a book on that to help people, young people who struggle with that, who hide, because it's such a taboo thing. You know, like it's easier. It's almost easier for someone to be like, oh yeah, I smoke. You know, I smoke. I use a joint. It's easier for them to admit that than like, oh yeah, I look at pornography, like, or I masturbate or whatever. And like, it's crazy that we're in a society where it's easier to admit you do drugs than it is to admit that you're into pornography and stuff. It's so sneaky. And so yeah, we're gonna try to either get a program going at some point in our lives further down the road, or get a book going, because we want to help with that, since it was so prevalent in our lives. Because again, that was what I chose to cope with everything that was going on. And I thank God every day. No, I don't thank him every day, and I should. But I thank him for giving me the book. And of course, for giving me my wife, Grace. No gun depression on this thing. Which is rough. I think I want to kill this guy. Simply because him being there is so obnoxious. But I can counter him pretty easily. And he's out of here. Perfect. I know, and it's crazy because I kept, like you said, at my lowest. I kept thinking I was at my lowest. You know, I was at my lowest when I was in the army, and then I was at my lowest when I started pornography, and then I was at my lowest. And each time I was like, no, this is nothing. But it was just basically to prepare me for the hardships that were coming next, and the hardships that were coming next, and next, and next. And then, so now it's like, okay, well, I'm ready. I basically expect there to be more hardships. But now I expect it, and I'm ready for it. Oh. That hurt a lot. Eviscerated everyone in my turret. We're shooting HE. Oh, we got HE penned. That's why. That KV-3 is shooting HE. That's the 85, I'm pretty sure. So these guys are not scary. Except that he penned me, which is certainly awkward. Okay, this guy's scary because he's... Now he's shooting standard. My team actually won this? That's crazy. Oh. Sorry, friend. I didn't want you to take that hit, but I was more concerned with taking the hit myself. So. He's dead before we reloaded from full health. This is turn 2 less than a month ago. Your other two are 11 and 13. That is quite the age gaps. Or singular age gap, I guess. So congratulations to you. I don't know that our lightning can make it. I think we're gonna lose this one. But yeah, we moved to Tulsa. I got a job. Didn't work out well because of my body. Then we found out Uber worked great. Uber was perfect for what I had. My own hours and all that jazz. Got a good car for it. And then it burnt down randomly. It just, while my wife and child were in the car combusted. They were okay, thank goodness. We were able to get them out. Oh, but it just combusted. That was our livelihood. Apparently there was a severed... Well, this is the theory. Oil line. There's an oil leak, perhaps, because 2015 Kia Soul, that is known to happen. But all the evidence and everything was burnt down, so I really wanted to hopefully, get some kind of money out of it. But all we got out of it was the insurance money. But my channel came through. You guys came through. You guys helped out. You guys donated a ton of money, and we were able to move on from there. And I moved back here to Maine. I say back here. It's back to my wife's state of where she was raised. Man, we can't win in this thing. Moved in to a separate building on her parents' property, which is something I didn't want to do, but we were like, no, we've got nothing. Like, we lost our livelihood, and I can't work a traditional job, and we have a newborn baby, and I guess she wasn't newborn anymore. So we moved here, and I was like, what if I start doing YouTube again? And like, okay, let's give it a try. And the channel is taking off. It's doing really, really well for itself. We're about to hit 20,000 subscribers. And once I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to start doing some more War Thunder. I wanted to see if we can hit 20,000 with console alone. World Tanks console alone. And that's why I paused on the War Thunder. But we're going to start doing War Thunder again once we hit 20,000. She's working as well, but we're hoping to let her stop soon, so. Yes, they get to see the baby. They're very happy. They're happy to have us. But we're looking around. And man, the economy in Florida is insane. Wow. I don't know if you guys have looked at houses in Florida recently. Holy moly. It's like new car prices. Crazy. And I've got family down there. But we don't know where we're going to end up. Right now, this is where we're going to sit. And I'm going to keep putting these videos out and keep writing. Taking care of the kid. Oh, it's the bot lobby. It's going to be a hard one to win. Because there's not many tier 6s, and so having a stock tier 6 is not what you want on your team in this kind of a matchup. Well, we're gonna take it slow. Take this one slow. His engine, maybe? It damages the engine. We at least tracked him. Tracks go up quickly, though. Engines take much longer to repair, so hopefully we can get this one out and bust that engine now. Maybe we can go through his upper plate. Oh, we can't at that angle. Oh, that was close. Someone shot at me, and I'm afraid. You gotta see IKV. Oh, that would have hit him. We got a good RNG shot there. Let's load HE because I think it's the IKV. Go back to standard. We're not going to spot the IKV. I don't know what I was thinking. This guy. There was the IKV, look at that. I got pretty good reflexes, don't I? What can we do to this guy, if anything? Oh, that was something. I actually have more health than he does, which surprises me. How have I been? Pretty good, pretty good. Discovered that I have to be very careful with fountain drinks, and I'm just going to basically be avoiding them because they give me heart attacks if they have too much syrup and not enough water ratio. Not like if the syrup to water ratio is off, I will die. So, yeah. Past the crossings zone. No crossing zone. Just look for the tracks. I'll get the tracking because he's on the track. His view range is awful. I love it. You're one of the Slade guys? Slade. Are you in this game? Is there a history I have with Slade? I don't know. How old? I'm 27. Woohoo, we got an upgrade and a first class. And that's by times 2. Do we get more? We do. And another one. And almost another one. Oh, wait. It's still going. Okay. 3 upgrades with that game. Oh, 15,000. Nice. Oh, in that one stream? Yeah, it confused me a little bit. Is all it was. Like, I hope I didn't sound mean. It's just, I wasn't expecting it. Because I don't know. When I platoon, I like to stay with my ally. But hey, you know what? I also realized later that maybe you decided that you would win one flank and he would win the other one. But yeah, like. Oh, I'm sensing an ammo rack. This is a pretty clear clip. He must be on the Series X. Yeah, and he knows where it is. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wonderful. Stay away from Panera Bread. I'm trying to stay away from gluten in general because of my autoimmune. So you won't have to tell me twice. Oh, this does have a different turret. With more view range, nice. Oh yeah, a very different turret. Oh my goodness, the engine was awful before. And so now we just have this gun to get. Let's make sure we have premium rounds again.
Matrix gonna work on me. Only money.
Whoa, X Machine with the 100 New Zealand dollars. He says no new premium tanks. He is the man who basically is the reason we get to review. No, he is. He's the reason we get to review new tanks all the time on the channel. When they come out, he grabs them. You wanted to show me that clip? You do understand the Grom was toxic? The Grom, here's my take on the Grom. It's lowercase toxic, okay? There's capital case toxic and there's lowercase toxic. Capital case or uppercase, whatever you want to call it. Uppercase toxic is the SFAC, right? The Grom is lowercase. It's very, very good. It's very powerful. And Wargaming didn't do a good job balancing it here on console because they couldn't figure out the mechanic, the gun mechanic, where the closer you are, the more damage it does. And so instead they gave it 700 alpha instead of 800 alpha, but made it reload 1 second faster, but it does 700 damage at long range. Right? It's got very good frontal armor if you hide that lower plate. And the gun feels really, really nice. But it's not super mobile. It's not super sneaky. It doesn't have the greatest DPM. And so it's one of those that you can deal with. It is almost always scoring top. But if anything, it's capital G good. You know what I mean? It's borderline toxic. Borderline. But it's one that I don't usually get upset. And I that's how I kind of judge tanks. Is what tank upsets me when I go up against it. Not the player, but the tank. And the Grom sometimes does, but it doesn't usually. The SFAC grinds my gears whenever I see it. Hashimoto's? I don't know what that is. Well, if you really want to be toxic in your Grom, you could try to queue up against me. While I'm at tier 6. But thank you, X Machine, for the 100 New Zealand dollars. Very helpful, like you don't know, man. It's huge. You would do that? You're not that mean? I had one when I was doing the 24-hour live stream for my mother, and I was at like hour 18 or whatever. It was deep, and I was tired and exhausted. We had this platoon. This is back when you could have artillery all platoon up. And we had this 3-man artillery platoon that just kept queuing up against me, and they were just blind firing me no matter what. It was miserable. There's nothing that you can do in this game, I don't think, that could be more toxic than that. So you're good. Because even if you pull out 3 Night Stalkers and rush me, I have the opportunity to at least avoid you if I try hard enough. But the artillery just watching this stream, just bombing shots on me the entire time, even when I'm not spotted, that was rough. It attacks the thyroid. Oh, I see. There's some thyroid issue on my wife's side of the family. She doesn't seem to have it. I think I go right here and just farm these bots. Get the XP, you know? It's free. I'm a bad shot, though. My reload is almost the same, though, with his 90 mil as my 75 was with the last guy. The last time. Wow, this tank does not back up. And then eventually other things depending on the stage. Yup. You guys beat a team and now they focus you when they're in the game. That's like, yeah, you're just proving that you're inferior. So now you have to take it out on people and in game. Like, that's weird. I don't have much gun depression, do I? Oh, I think I have more now with this turret, actually. Yes, keep looking at them. You can't get to them, but you can look at them. Because I'm pretty sure bots give you just as much XP. But I don't want to get shot by that 90 millimeter. Well, now I have to get shot by that. Oh, it's 75. Nope, it's the 90. Shot with the tiny gun. Also, I know I have good sidearm on this thing. That's a very nice looking Panther. That's so disappointing. I lost a lot of health for that, but I needed him dead. Whoever kills himself. Choppers camping. Get this gold loading. Ouch. IS is going to be coming up from behind soon. I can't take it from an IS anymore. What I have to do is come this way. This thing backs up so slowly. abysmal. I know you're on your way, but I don't want to be alone either. I'm a one-shot for all these clowns. Think can't up when it needs to be nerfed? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't doubt it. I feel the same way. Oh, you run into the chopper. No. Oh, great. I'm dead. Look how slowly this thing backs up. Just can't win in this thing. No, I do not. Buck, that match we had against you guys on Saturday or whatever it was, whatever day it was. I was called in the CS like twice, and both times like, I don't have the CS. Like, oh, okay. Well, let's play something else. Like, I will play something else. What did we just unlock? Oh, we did get the Top Gun. Look at that. Let's try it. What's it got? 186 millimeters of... Is that heat? It is. That's nice. I definitely want the loaded shell exchanger if I'm going to be using this gun. Anything else I can throw in here that's cheap? Let's throw this on. Excuse me. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do with this. Our reload is much faster. Accuracy during movement, 5.19 meters dispersion. Wow. And, are these premium rounds? They are. Okay, we'll give it a go, though. We're moving up this line. We'll get there eventually, guys. 2.5 hours I've been going for? Oh, wow. We're gonna have to call it soon, though. What is normalization? Alrighty. Get your notebooks out. That's your last clip. Okay, I'll take a look in a sec. Your, shell normalization. So this game doesn't deal with, the same kind of physics that you get in War Thunder. The physics here are kind of made up shell stuff. But they're based off of reality. But in real life, when you hit angled armor, it's not just the nominal armor thickness that you're trying to get through. It's also the fact that your shell loses energy or isn't transferring all its energy into that plate of armor because it's angled. So you're losing even more penetration on angled armor than just nominal thickness. So shell normalization is where the shell digs into the armor slightly and it affects the angle at which that shell is now hitting the armor. AP has a 5-degree normalization. So if you're hitting armor at 45 degrees, it normalizes to 40 degrees, so you have a better chance of penetrating. APCR has a 2-degree normalization, so at 45 degrees, the shell is trying to penetrate at 43 degrees. Heat and HE do not have shell normalization, and so 45 degrees is 45 degrees. Then you have overmatch mechanics. There's a couple of them. If you hit armor that is 2 times thinner than the shell caliber, so a 100 mil round hits a 50 mil plate, you have a partial overmatch. A partial overmatch means that you get twice as much shell normalization. Whoa, that doesn't fly very derpy-like. Which is very cool. Nice. Wow, I like this gun already. These shells fly fast. Oh. And so, in other words, you get 10 degrees of normalization, let's say. Oh, hello. This guy's doomed. I might actually beat his reload. I did, but that one missed. Oh, he fired. And then there's the 3 times rule, which makes it so that you overmatch completely a tank, and then you auto pen. Dude. This tank is good now. Yeah. Like, what the heck? This guy's gonna be more difficult to deal with. Because he's gonna be covered in spaced armor. I want to help my T1 Heavy, but I don't know that I can. Yeah, that was an HE pen. Yeah, wow, the tank is good now, guys. Like, out of nowhere. It's insane just the difference between a stock tank and an upgraded tank. I don't think there should be so much disparity. Personally, but what do I know? That's a thin shot. Got it though. I suppose I should have waited for that, because then I could have got my top gun and a Pascucci's, but 5,000 damage. That should be an ace danger. 6,000 combined. Wow. Almost 2,600 experience. Base. Yeah, we aced it. Woohoo! That means I can stop playing it when we finish the grind. I don't like retiring tanks that I haven't aced. Thank you, Andy. We did get to farm. I mean, this guy we penned with HE. That was insane. Who did we farm? It was that. And we two-shot the Nashorn. That was crazy. Yeah, we farmed the Churchill Oak. And then right off the gate, we also got to farm the G1R, who was a bot. So, I mean, if you get rid of the bot and you get rid of the AFK, then we did 3,800 damage. But this gun is insane. 161 pen. 300 alpha. I had no idea this tank was this good. And the shell velocity. What is that shell velocity? Let's take a look. Like those were zipping. It's nothing like the 105. 785 meters shell velocity on HE. 930 on the heat. Dang. You know what I should do? I should change my username again and get some really good games and then submit them to other YouTubers who don't like me and see if they'll feature it. Oh, you're right. Premium AP. Look at that. Well, dang. Nah, thank you for telling me. I thought I was firing heat, and so I was avoiding spaced armor. Oh, second clip. That's right. I forgot. Let me take a look. Let's see here. Your team is just tank destroyers. Cheating. What is it? What is it? What's the tank? What's he going after? My friend! I think you missed it. Don't shoot me. Shoot him. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Don't let it breed. Nicely done. Double tracked. That's the name of my podcast, if you guys remember. Right, World of Tank Show. Back in the day. Guys, it's been fun! Ah! We got shot by someone else in the corner of the map, too. I think the T-22 Proto or something is there. Oh, he was, and I didn't see him. The Tier 3 anti-American aircraft tanks up to Tier 10? I don't think so. Wow, we are also grinding this. And you know what? To get our double, let's throw a ×5 on. Come on, tank. Do some work. What? Top tier? That is a bot lobby. But top tier? There's not many bots, actually. 1, 2. Just 2. This is what he meant to sound, I think. Wow, that's a lot of damage. 8 kills as well. GG. Well done. What's the... how much base XP? If that's your double, 2,200 yeah, 2,256. Hey, Will. Am I your favorite, or you just say that to everyone you show up to? No, I'm just kidding. We're doing well. We're grinding for the CS, but I just died very quickly. No AI in that one, GG. Guys, we're about to hit 20,000 subscribers. We just passed Eclipse with subscriber count. We are the #1 World Tanks console YouTuber yet again. You guys have done it. Well, stinking done. Unbelievable. I didn't think this would happen so quickly. I knew we could do it. But we're going to be hitting 20,000 probably in a week or 2 if the numbers keep going up the way they have been. You guys are amazing. And so then we're going to start doing some more War Thunder because of that. Conqueror is kind of scary. So maybe he's on the other side. An Oho! Coming off a piece of that action. A chief on the Oho, huh? They mega buffed that thing, didn't they? Well, stinks to be him because I'm about to load gold. How does it taste? this guy has a shot on me, then we can spot him. You're actually scared. Let's shoot you. It's fine. The reason I'm shooting the Leviathan over the Oho is because Leviathan can run, Oho can't. Oho is stuck here. And so I can take my time with all this. We're gonna fix now because Artie's about to shoot. And I want to keep my health. I was waiting to see if the Leviathan was still there before I fired. This game is over. We're gonna get our times too. It's gonna be nice. War Thunder? Nah, they wouldn't do nothing. Oh, we're getting the spawning thing at least. Wouldn't that be something though, huh? Do you mind? Snotface McGee up there? I'm just trying to play my game. Hitting me in my gun like that? No, the only person who pays me is you. This thing is such a big gun. It's just like suddenly you have a ton of damage. I mean, like 2,500 isn't huge, but it's still more than the hit points of my tank. Oh, he ran that way. Fine, we'll cap the base. Yeah, that's more damage than I've ever done in World War II. But with the ×2 and our ×5, yeah, 10,000. That's nice. Goes toward getting that 60 TP. Oho with his HE.
Hello there.
Oh, a subscriber! Welcome, Bents! Guys, if you're watching on your TV, your smart TV, there's a chance you're not subscribed because the smart TV really feeds into the algorithm of whatever you just watched. And so if you just, you search me up, you find my videos, you watch me once or even twice, my videos flood your feed anytime I release anything, like you're subscribed, but you might not be. So double check, make sure you are. Unless you don't want to be, of course. What time is it? What time is it? One more I think we're going to have time for. Bring this to a 3-hour live stream. Nice and long. But we got good stuff done. We ground through the tier 5. Now we have the tier 6 fully upgraded. We got ace tankers on both of them. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. 10,000 more experience on my tier 9 as well. This is progress, and that's what we like to see. Wow. Mika Rage, are you watching the stream right now? Are you around? I don't think so. Wow, I'm spelling everything wrong. This thing has a little bit of armor, which is nice. I'm one of your favorites. Thank you, sir. You've really gotten them to watch the change in the channel, and hopefully you can mature a little bit better. Hopefully, this game still sets me off more than anything else in the world. You could stab me, and I'd be like, "Hey, dude, what's that for?" But if you shoot me with a Night Stalker in this game, oh boy, all bets are off. A lot of tanks over there. Hang on, stick it to him. Stick it to him this game. Okay, we gotta win this game, you and I. Whoa, somebody was like, he's right. I'm not subscribed. JDK. Oh, Nashorn. I'll go first field tank. We'll be back for you, Nashorn. Don't you worry. Hello. Whew. Hey, yeah, it's nothing like the one. Same alpha as the American 105 on this HE. But it flies so fast. Oh, right. I forgot. We back up very, very slowly. Alright, well, we gotta go back for the base now. How do you lose the game, guys? You abandon your base. Our side of the map is very good at protecting the base, though. I think we'll be okay. That's the Hellcat. What else do they have? They have a... Oh, Hellcat's dead. D-Max? That is satisfying. Oh, this fast shell velocity is insane. Archer? Oh, Sullivan. Some whatever you want to go out. Okay. Which I think we can pen with HE. I think. And if we can't, no big deal. 300 alpha. Keep that in mind. Okay, HE is going to be just enough. Oh, an M6. Oh boy, he's gonna save our game. We have not done too much damage. One. And that's gonna be it. Come on. That's nice. That's fine. Thank you, Judas. Not gonna mod and drive. Yeah, that won't be good. That won't be good. But it is now 12:30. Another 6,000 experience gained in the boogie. This It's night and day. So not only is it night and day between the tier 5 version and this tier 6, but it's also night and day between this tank being mostly upgraded and completely upgraded. Absolutely crazy. Anywho's, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming out. You don't own the Night Stalker, you never will. You despise that tank. I sold it and then I got killed by one, so I had to play it again. In my playing what kills me. So I still have it in the garage. Let me take a look at it, because this is how I have it set up. Boom. No ammo. It gets to sit here like this. Just in case I ever get killed by one again. I hope not, because I hope to never play it again. But alas, it is what it is. Again, that's it. Thanks guys for coming out. If you enjoyed, and if you haven't slapped that like button yet, smash it. Use your forehead if you're able to. Your nose if you can't. Any way you want. And I'll be seeing you guys all later. Thanks again. Hopefully we'll have a video out. Buster Moo. I have not. Oh, not for anybody. I haven't either. I'm waiting on my next paycheck so I can start sending these out. But again, once you're ready, let me know where to send it, and I'll get you. I'll get it out. I'll get it out. Probably on the 13th of May. I'll be getting those out. So, for the 3 winners of the book, that's it. Thanks guys again, and you guys also have a great rest of your days.